Are we watching history in the making during this 2025 F1 World Championship? Here are my 3 takeaways following the US Grand Prix. Got my notes beside me, and here is takeaway number 1. Austin could be the turning point in this Drivers' Championship battle. I don't see why not. Saturday was a huge day for Max Verstappen as he collected a cool 8 points, where his competitors and Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, well, they didn't collect any points whatsoever. On Sunday, Max Verstappen absolutely dominated this race. And a big part has to do with not only his driving, which Laurent Mekies told us following this race was like watching history in the making, but the setup that the team had to chip away at and really work on throughout the race weekend to try and get it just right. For example, on Saturday following the sprint, the team was adjusting the car to try and figure out what type of wind direction we would be getting here on Sunday for the race, because it was expected to be extremely windy here on Sunday. And it was the moment where which direction it was going to be coming from. Was it going to affect them in Sector 1, or was it going to provide them with some more performance heading down the back straightaway here in Austin? And Max had said following this one that the first stint was just so important for him to really squeeze out that gap. And I also think that it helped that Charles Leclerc got in a little mix-up with Lando Norris and played a factor as well. And I think that helped his advantage at the same point. But the fact remains that Max Verstappen was absolutely dominant here on Sunday. And what happened to Oscar Piastri all weekend long? Takeaway number 2. What is going on with Oscar Piastri? That's his second bad race weekend in the last 3 Grand Prix for Oscar Piastri. On Saturday, he had his crash with teammate Lando Norris. And then Saturday afternoon, qualifying just wasn't a good performance. Didn't have that confidence in the car. And I heard from Andrea Stella following qualifying on Saturday evening, and he had mentioned that the drivers were really struggling trying to take the car to its limits on the braking, because it was just so easy to lock up. And that's a really hard thing to do for a driver, to really try and trust the car, trust the balance, and trust what it's going to do when you get to your braking reference marker. Also, I think that the balance of this car was starting to really move away from Piastri at the same time, and I think that also affected the confidence, because I saw him and heard from him following the race on Sunday, and he just looked so dejected. And I think for Oscar, he's going to have to try and find a way of regaining that confidence. And for the team, they're going to have to try and help him with that and provide a better balance with their race car, because the next race up is Mexico City, and that is definitely going to be Red Bull territory. Which takes us to takeaway number 3. As Red Bull Racing has been making all this news and making all the headlines, so too has former team boss Christian Horner. But Christian Horner's been in the news for different reasons. There's been a lot of talk and there's been a lot of rumors lately about Christian Horner partnering up with the team, Christian Horner becoming a team principal somewhere, Christian Horner possibly bringing in a 12th team into Formula One. One of the rumors I did hear is the fact that Horner has been able to find some backing or some partners to either pursue purchasing a team or potentially bringing a 12th team on board. And at this moment, this is all just rumors and speculation. However, we can dive into this just a little bit, because if we take a look up and down this paddock, I think there could be a team here that, who knows, maybe one day could be up for sale. I think that could possibly be Alpine. That could be one of them. Only because of Flavio Briatore coming in, making changes at Alpine. Alpine getting out of the power unit development business. And I think maybe Flavio's there to help raise the value of the team. So maybe if Alpine is, or Renault I should say, is one day interested in selling, then the value of the team would be quite high, and he could help them execute on trying to find a buyer. Flavio and Christian, they are good friends. They know each other really well. So that could possibly be something. But there was another rumor that I had heard, and that was the fact that Horner was going to replace Fred Vasseur as team principal down at Ferrari. The drivers were asked about it all weekend long. They didn't comment on it too much, but John Elkann, who's a huge part of Ferrari, had released a statement on Saturday saying that they believe in Frederic Vasseur, they believe in this team and the way it is designed, and I'm paraphrasing on that, but the statement really was just a big support, I feel, for team principal Frederic Vasseur. But for Christian Horner, bringing in a 12th team, I mean, that could also make a lot of sense as well. The downside to that is how long that would take, because it would take years for a 12th team to make its way onto the grid. The fact remains, though, that if Christian Horner was going to get involved in Formula One in some capacity, it wouldn't be in the short term. Because of the payout that Horner took down at Red Bull Racing to get his buyout, he had to go on a gardening leave. Since he took less money, that gardening leave was shortened, and he can't do anything inside Formula One until at least January 2026. So, if anything is going to happen, it is going to happen after January 2026. So any of these rumors of Christian Horner going somewhere, taking over the team, being a team principal, I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer before we really see what Christian Horner is up to. We're heading to Mexico City, next race up. I'll be there, boots on the ground, covering Formula One at the Mexican Grand Prix, and you can catch all of the action on tsn.ca, and we're going to have more as well on our YouTube channel.